I was born in Grand-Bassam, Ivory Coast. But to be honest, I can't remember what Africa looks like. For the simple reason that when I was a kid, I was taken and brought somewhere else. Growing between United States and Europe doesn't mean living a healthy environment. My biological father was an African father with that back in the days African mentality. According to him, he was the boss, and we, the kids, had just to follow his rules, simple as it was. I knew I was good enough to do something extraordinary later in my life, but at that time, I was not allowed to follow the passion I had for several things, especially sports and computer science. My desire was to live in one environment where all individuals could freely aspire and achieve their dreams according to their abilities and perseverance. That's why I thought that leaving my parents' house and move somewhere else would be the only way to truly achieve better life prospects. That single day in which I left my parents' house, I felt like my period of jail was finally over and my life as a free man was about to start. Living without economic resources forced me to develop the ability to do more with less, and I learned how to turn adversity into an opportunity. I was broke, but despite the challenges, I worked hard to go to university. I chose international rights and diplomacy without any clear idea how the academic path would turn to be helpful later in my professional career. During university, I fell in love with macroeconomics and geopolitics, so after my graduation, I applied to go to work for one of the biggest banks ever and for the most interesting country of the world, the European Union. In 2010, I started working for a private agency of the European Union, and my job was the monitoring of several factors to anticipate, through data collection and analysis, the potential movement of individuals leaving their country of origin towards the external borders of the European Union. In the same year, 2010, we had the so-called Arab Spring. And since then, the immigration has become the mega trend of our time. Since then, the debate focuses too much on the distinction between refugees and economic immigrants, forgetting that globally, immigrants represent approximately 3% of the world population, but produce more than 9% of the global GDP. The debate can see that immigration is not just inevitable, but it is necessary. The contribution of immigrants can be seen in every aspect of our life. We see it in religion, in politics, in business, in arts, in education, even in athletics and entertainment. There is no part of our nations that has not been touched and shaped by our immigrant background. And we got to recognize that the energy that immigrants bring to host communities is a key reason why the American economy has been the greatest engine of prosperity and innovation in history. Without the opportunity for his biological parents to leave their country of origin and build better life prospects in a country they deserved to call home, Steve Jobs will never be able to deliver us the iPhone as we know it today. Without the opportunity to leave their country of origin and build better life prospects in a country they deserved to call home, Sergey Brin and Sunday Pichai will never be able to deliver us Google as we know it today. I know some of you are gonna tell me that stories of immigrants can be positive and negative, and it's true. But we cannot pretend to understand immigration without hearing all of them. Individuals that leave their comfort zone and choose the journey to the unknown are necessarily equipped with drive, creativity, determination, and just plain guts. But too often, they are distrusted by the country of rival and host communities. And you can feel it. There is this anti-immigrant sentiment that is spreading everywhere around the world. So the world, not just Europe, urgently needs better tools to manage international immigration. But well-managed immigration in the third millennium builds on reliable data and evidence. But too often, data is seen as the abstract business of technical experts operating in backrooms. Yet, data is more than numbers. It is essential to identify challenges, design responses, and monitor the implementation of immigration policies. Thereby, data enables us to manage for better immigration outcomes. Skills recognition, fill labor market shortage in a targeted way, speed up asylum system, and increase net remittance flow. Large benefit accrues to country of origin and destination when immigration is managed well. Mismanaged immigration, on the other hand, puts migrants at risk and paves the way for this anti-immigrant sentiment that is spreading everywhere, especially in Europe. In Europe, immigration divides communities, while the motto of the European Union is unity in diversity. According to data, to achieve greater competitiveness, European Union needs all its talents. And guess what? Immigrants represent a potential also for the creation of new jobs. More than 7% of self-employed in European Union were born outside their country of residence, which is more than 2 million people. Of these, 47% were born outside the European Union. It is time to wake up, people. It is time to take our responsibility and give an answer to 258 million people estimated to be residing outside their country of origin. It is time to turn immigration into a huge opportunity, not just for immigrants, especially for host communities. All of you are gonna ask me, yes, nice, so how are you gonna do that? My answer is simple, 4 steps. 1, do a preliminary screening of skills, background, and aspiration of all immigrants, especially newly arrived. 2, train all immigrants with a good balance between a theoretical approach based on information and knowledge and a practical approach based on direct experience. 3, analyze collected data to ease the matching between most skilled identified and career placement available on the market. 4, ease the access to deserving immigrants with fundamental tools they need to achieve an economic independence. So tonight, I'm gonna share with you the most extraordinary part of my life. In 2017, I had the privilege to become the founder of Migrants. Migrants is the first app based on microlearning, especially designed to deliver support to immigrants through a series of thematic module quizzes. The quizzes provide to immigrants all information and training needed to build consciousness, new skills, and renew credibility. To assess the background, we assume that trainees initially begin with no prior knowledge. Through Migrants, they can learn simple concepts like, how many stars are there on the European flag? 8, 12, or 15? Things they need to know, like, what is the first step of the asylum system? And things that could be interesting, like, how many startup accelerators are in place across Africa? Trainees read the question and choose the option of answer they think to be the correct one. They collect a single point for each correct answer. And even if the answer selected is wrong, the app is providing a formative feedback to guide self-reflection. The assessment of background is fundamental in order to identify skills that immigrants may have acquired formally or informally during their previous life. The training program, always based on microlearning, use the power of technology, making lifelong learning available for free to all immigrants. Adaptive training gives us the opportunity to personalize the training program according to their areas of strength, weaknesses, and interest. Trainees can choose among 3 main destinations: higher education, job placement, and entrepreneurship. Module quiz attempt and repeated, collected points, percentage of correct answers, and average time to finish each single modules are among the main evidence used to generate the monthly report of performance for each single trainee. Data mining and machine learning give us the opportunity to track if and when trainees reach from beginners, competent, proficient, or expert level of mastery in one or more topics. Migrants' unique value is the huge database of competences and skills of over 44,000 immigrants, where skills are empowered and validated according to local, regional, and national occupational needs. Through the database, Migrants is offering a new and simple hiring process for smart businesses. Companies have the opportunity to pick in real time or track the performance to program the hiring of the most suited immigrant and talent according to the role they require. In 2018, we matched over 920 talents with private companies seeking individuals with the right skills they need to grow and innovate. But we realized that up to 90% of talents with a job contract in their hand did not show up the first day of work. Do you know why? Economic constraints. When it comes to credit, most immigrants are just left behind. They don't qualify for credit because they lack of credit history. But to build a credit history, you need to get some credit. So the question here is simple. How immigrants can express their full economic potential without having any access to economic resources? So migrants' next challenge will be access to credit. Follow me. If credit is linked to reputation and credibility, we need to give the opportunity to all immigrants to build and measure through evidence their reputation and their credibility. So instead of taking consideration the economic and the financial background, we will take in consideration for each applicant's credit potential and take in consideration factors like the quality of the online training, the proficiency in economic and financial literacy, and the future career placement. We believe that helping future customers be successful with economics and financially independent is good for immigrants, it's good for business, and it's good for society overall. But several challenges that immigrants and migrants are trying to face and overcome are the same challenges that you, European citizens, should take in consideration. Let's take skills recognition as a concrete example. Did you ever ask yourself why 40% of European companies, including migrants, have difficulties finding the right people with the right skills they need to grow and innovate? The answer is simple: lack of basic skills. Around a quarter of European adults struggles with reading and writing, and many more have poor digital skills. And if you think that financial exclusion is only an immigrant-related problem, you're completely wrong. There is an estimated 2 billion working-age adults globally have no access to financial services delivered by formal financial institutions. In Europe, 47% of adults have no bank account, and many more have no savings. So financial exclusion increases the risk of social exclusion and poverty without any distinction. I know some of you would like me to continue, but it's not necessary. What is perhaps necessary is that all parties involved, especially immigrants and host communities, take their part of responsibility as soon as possible. Also because we have a rare window of opportunity now to do something extraordinary. Thank you.